Peace, 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 everybody. Welcome to Naturalistic Vibes. It's your host, your girl Ivy, checking in with you this week, the last weekend in March. We have started the Aries season. Everyone, welcome, welcome, welcome. I appreciate everybody for stopping through. I appreciate you guys for checking me out. Tell a friend and know a friend and tell a friend. If you're Gen X, Xennial, Millennial, definitely make sure to check me out. Make sure to let everybody that you know that's in our generation check me out. We here uniting generations together. All right, let's get into it. Okay, so this week's episode, we're going to actually talk about starting your spiritual journey and what that may look like for you and what that may be, how that may be showing up for you right now. Because what I'm noticing, a lot of people are starting to be more tuned in and tap more into the spiritual aspect of themselves and tapping more into this that we're calling or labeling spirituality. And now, so on contrary to what the textbook definition to spirituality is, the way I understand it for myself is just basically you tuning into that other part of yourself. And so as we deal here in this physical reality, so in this reality where you actually, as you look out right now, right, whatever your eyesight is set on, whatever it is that you're looking at, that's considered your physical reality. You can see it, you can smell it, you can touch it, you can taste it. And so your spiritual reality would look more so like the non-physical things, the things that you cannot physically see or physically hear or physically touch or physically smell, right? So this is where your senses are being utilized in a completely different aspect. And so what I'm going to do today is kind of break down, what that translates to you guys, you newbies, and then to my more seasoned folk. If you can chime in the comments and in the reviews, and kind of add value to what anything that I miss, and not on purpose. So just if there's anything that I just forget to cover or that I didn't touch on, you guys can add value to that, right? And so, so basically here in this physical reality, we're always dealing with two sides to things. And so what I mean by that, I'll give you an example. An example to that is man and woman, or up and down, or left and right, okay, or hot and cold. Right? And then with love and hate, right? Just another example. And then most times you always have a middle piece or balance in between those two energies or those two aspects, right? So like the middle balance between hot and cold would be warm, right? Or the middle balance between up and down would be center. And so most of what we've been indoctrinated into has taught us to focus on only one aspect of ourselves, right? So you hear this thing where people say left brain, right brain thinking, right? And so with that what that does is that what it does is it allows you to see things from one perspective, right? But when you're dealing in the holisticness of everything, the wholeness, the oneness of everything, what you're doing is you're looking at both sides of the coin, right? The heads and the tails. You're looking at the left and the right and the center. You're looking at all aspects of it. If there's 10 aspects, you're analyzing all 10. If there's 3, you're analyzing all 3, right? So it's like that. And so coming into understanding other aspects of yourself is what I consider being holistic. And it's not just all dealing with, I deal with herbs, so that makes me holistic, or I deal in natural remedies, and that makes me holistic. There's many aspects to being holistic, right? So it doesn't just go to what we put in our bodies, but what we express outwardly, right? That's considered holistic. Oh, there's a cardinal. Sweet. And I absolutely love nature, you guys. So y'all will probably hear me squirrel brain it quite a bit. But anywho, first I seen a bumblebee, and then I just seen a cardinal. So cool. And I'm so can't wait to see a hummingbird. Anywho, absolutely love hummingbirds. Anywho, so when you're dealing with the holistic aspects of yourself, you don't only want to deal with your positives, you want to deal with your negative aspects. And I don't mean negative as in, you're dirty negative. Think about positive and negative in the equivalent of a magnet. They're just expressing from different aspects. Neither aspect is right or wrong. They're just they're expressing differently, right? And so when you're dealing with your holistic self, so for me, it started with me having health issues, like no bullshit. I mentioned to you guys before, I had fibroids. That's how I even came into natural remedies, is because I had fibroids, and I wanted to know what the fuck they were and how I got them and how to get rid of them. But have never been a big medicine person. Like, even when I was a kid, I would be terrified of taking those shots, y'all. Like, I used to hate that shit. And that fucking nasty ass pink bubblegum medicine. Y'all know what I'm talking about. That shit was gross. But, I mean, it was better than some stuff. And if I had a choice, I'd be like, give me the pink stuff. But I've never been a really big medicine person. The only time that I even forced myself to really take medicine would be when I would be cramping. I had really bad cramps, due to the fibroids. And so I ain't gonna bullshit you, I would load up on ibuprofen. Like, nobody's business. I would load up on the fucking ibuprofen. And so coming into this, me just kind of navigating through that, I don't even know what to call it, an illness, disease. I call it a symptom of the stress to the body. So for me, it represented a certain stress. It represented stress in my wound area. So that's kind of how I look at it. But as I started navigating through the health part of it, I ended up going from the health part into getting into more of the occult and the metaphysical aspects of the body. Because now I'm wanting to know different ways of how the body functions, why the body functions this way, what it means when it's doing this. And I'm picking up, okay, when my body's doing this, and this is the reaction it's having, and 10,000 other women are having the same reaction. Why, right? So it made me start digging into that. And over the years of me digging, I ran into astrology and numerology, and this recent thing over the last year or so has been a human design, which is pretty awesome, by the way. I don't understand how to read it quite yet, and I do have a couple people that I follow on social media that, I haven't actually proactively, I started following them, but I haven't gone to start learning this yet, because I actually do want to learn it. Because one of the things that I noticed was that some of the common illnesses, right, that people experience, it was some of that relation was tied to the astrological energy. And so, for example, I'm going to start an astrology series, and I'm going to give out that introduction information, kind of give you base information of what how the energy presents itself, and ways you can understand how it's presenting itself in your own natal chart, right? We're going to start that soon. Maybe in May, I'm not sure yet, but we're definitely going to get that series started soon. I need to finish getting it together before I can present it to everybody. But what I noticed was that, oh snap, there's certain signs, like I was able to study it from a sun aspect. There's certain signs that, okay, well, this sign is experiencing this. Like, for example, one of the things that I noticed with Geminis was that there was a couple things that shows up in their health, right? And that's like heart, either something with the heart or something with the throat chakra area. So like the thyroid or something with that. Something that affects the communication, because the Gemini energy is representation of the communicator, and it represents, I believe, the higher mind. And so as I started going through this, I'm looking at my chart, right? Like now I'm starting to analyze my chart, break it down, really start to understand my energy a lot more, and start breaking down the energies astrologically. And I bullshit you guys not. What I learned was, so first of all, my star system is comprised mostly of Earth. And with that being, when I started actually studying that sign, I learned why I approach my health the way I do. And so now that allowed me to kind of go even deeper. So now I'm able to connect the health issues that I've had over the years, right? Along with health issues that were presenting themselves. Because again, I'm 44. So now I'm like, okay, this is presenting itself. Why? So when I look at the signs, I can see how certain negative aspects of the sign could produce an illness, right? And we'll have another episode where we really break that, really get into it and break that down. So this showed me, like, I'm like, wait a minute. So with dealing with holistic healing, because at first, like, I'm holistic healing and all that good stuff, and natural healing, I deal with herbs, and this is what I was, doing. I started like in 2011, like, supplements, blah, blah, blah. And so when I saw this, I was like, wait a minute, holistic healing is deeper than just the health, right? Because, well, everything's tied to the health. But this goes to the mental health, the physical health, the emotional body. This goes to your spiritual health, all of that. And so when I started seeing that, I started being able to really piece it together. Now, through my studies, like I said, I was studying this information. And so I was getting like the base foundational information from some really awesome occult metaphysicians, spiritual scientists. I don't know what labels to give people today without offending anybody, but, just some really awesome ass beings down here, man, that know what they're doing and know from a spiritual side what's needed in this time right now. And so anyway, to keep going forward, once I pieced together that, okay, so we not only need to deal with the physical aspects of our life, we actually need to deal with the spiritual aspects. And what I did was I had a moment, I was meditating, and I was able to see how in the past, how certain ways I was responding and reacting was, like was from my shadow aspect. And this is what I was meaning by dealing with all aspects of yourself. And everybody here has a shadow aspect. And if you don't believe me, take a picture with a Polaroid camera. Take a picture with a 35 millimeter camera or a 110 millimeter camera. And it produces a negative. That's a shadow of you. It's a snapshot shadow of your energy in that precise moment. And so as I have been able to connect the dots and put the pieces together, I'm like, okay, So, because again, when I started coming into this, most of the talk was love, light, and peace. And I'll be one to tell you, anybody that knows me, and if you notice, I put peace on everything. I real deal. That's real shit how I talk. Like, for real. Like, always have been that person. But it ain't all love, light, and peace. And that's when I came into that reality. It was very, very quick in me coming into this awareness that my journey didn't just involve the physical aspect. It also involved a spiritual aspect. And one of the first things I wanted to make sure is that I was dealing with the truth. I did not want to be dealing in an illusion, a delusion, a falseness, or any of that. The truth, that I can deal with, right? And so, and you're going to have to be honest with yourself, especially when you're dealing with your natal chart. You know, you can't be lying to yourself, because here's the thing, and this is a saying I had for years. The one you can lie to everybody else the fuck out here. The one motherfucker you cannot lie to is yourself. That is a fact. Right? That's equivalent to not being able to lie to God. And that's because you are an aspect of God. You are God energy. Okay? And so that was one of the things, and I'm not speaking from an egotistic perspective, from a I rule and dictate over everyone else's perspective. That is delusion. Because you don't rule or dictate over no motherfucker but yourself. Okay? So once I learned that, okay, let me start now connecting the spiritual pieces to my physical life. And once I done that, I was able to literally put a lot of things to rest that didn't make sense about how I showed up. Man, why do I do this? Why do I do that, right? Like, for example, I was just telling one of my nieces that, you know, before me even coming on here, being able to speak to you guys, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm the type of person that I was in the past. I could definitely, very social, could have a conversation with anybody, right? Can sit up and talk to friends, and we can have a really meaningful conversation, and I can hold the floor. As long as I was not standing up and everybody was exactly staring at me, right? But as long as I was sitting down and we're in a social environment, I could do that. And I challenged myself in 2014 with the last job that I had, where I had to actually get in front of a small group of people and speak. And at first it was very flustering. Literally, your girl felt like she was gonna pass the fuck out. It's a lot of times I thought I was gonna pass the fuck out for real. I got very flushed. I got nervous, y'all. The pits got the sweat and shit. I was like, oh my gosh, I just don't pass out. But the more I did it, the more comfortable I became. And then I was able to literally merge in, or so much, I don't want to use the word merge. Let me erase that, retract that. I was able to harmonize in that aspect of myself that I was keeping dormant from something that happened to me when I was younger. For example, I grew up being told that I talk a lot. Man, you sure do talk a lot. You could talk a lot. Boy, you could talk a lot. Man, you talk too much. You know, and so being told that, eventually what I started doing was just kind of shelling myself. You know, only talk when I'm social, okay. But what I never paid attention to was my ability to be able to command the floor, whether I was standing or sitting. Once I own that part of myself, it doesn't matter, right? And that don't mean your girl, you know, we take it one step at a time. The point that I'm making is that I was able to harmonize an aspect of myself that I was not aware that was being dormant. This is still holistic healing, right? because I was taking something that happened that was still, no matter what the weight looks like, weight is weight, y'all. You can put a crumb of something on a scale and it's going to produce a number. It's a weight. And even if it's still just at 0, and that's only because that machine hasn't been programmed to go as light as the thing that you're putting on the machine. Okay? And so weight is weight, and when you're dealing holistically with yourself, the goal is to let the weight off of you, for your heart to become light as a feather, as the ancient texts speak of. And if your heart is light as a feather, your body, it's impossible that you have an illness or a disease in there. The only way you'd be able to know what I'm talking about is that if you have a disease or an illness in your body and you go through holistic remedies and holistic solutions, spiritual and physical, to eliminate and dissolve and release and let go of the thing that's creating the illness and disease in the first place, then you'll feel your energy be lighter, and then you'll understand at that moment exactly what I'm talking about. Because a lot of us are walking around here, we're all walking around here with weight on us, some more than others. And that weight is going to manifest and show up in your body in some form. And so I'm pretty sure a lot of you have either seen The Secret, read the book, or at least have heard of it, right? You know, the little documentary where they're talking about the law of attraction. And that's not really a secret, and that's just one of the laws, by the way. But anywho, that's a whole nother topic. And so in the Secret, I don't remember the guy's name, but there's this one doctor in there, and he's talking about putting too much stress on the body and what that does. And so again, that's one of the things that I was able to make a connection on. Now I want to make sure everybody understand, put this disclaimer out there. I'm not a doctor. I'm not making any prescriptions, nor am I making any, telling you what to do as a cure. I'm not offering any cures. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. I'm not offering any cures. And so, yeah, we can keep it moving. This is strictly for informational purposes. And so when you put too much stress on the body, in any part of the body, main organs, we're talking about the main organs, those main organs will give you a sign that something's off in your vessel, in your entire vessel. So it's going to tell you something's off spiritually and physically. Okay? For example, one of my observations that I've noticed, that people who have some form of cancer, right, like if it produces and manifests in specific areas, that is a form of holding in the emotions. So the emotional body has stress on it. And so what's happening is you're not fully expressing yourself either authentically or at all. You're probably either not expressing yourself at all, like how you really feel about certain shit, right? And so, again, and that just depends on the sign as well. Because some other signs, like I saw that mostly in Virgo, the Virgo energy. That energy, it has to express. The polarity is the Pisces. Very creative, expressively, beautiful energy. But the Virgo energy is very much, work, doing things to perfection, which is adding stress to yourself, you see? And so there's other signs where, adding that stress to themselves could produce Like maybe inflammation or something. Now, inflammation's coming from something else, but what I'm saying is that wherever your main organ is experiencing stress, there's literally a spiritual meaning behind that, or a spiritual correlation. I don't want to say a spiritual correlation to go with that. And then this actually can help you fast track through some of your healing stuff, right? And this isn't shitting on any doctors or anything, right? Because I do feel like that you do need to have some form of, I do feel like doctors have their place in this system. I'll just leave it there, right? Just as holistic healers have their place. We're talking about, dealing with from different aspects of healing. And so yeah. And so it's good to kind of be tuned in with that part, that spiritual part of yourself, because then you're truly able to connect to why you're doing a certain thing, or why your body's doing a certain thing. Like, for example, let's say you're an earth sign, right? Like you have or an air sign, or we'll say earth sign, earth or water sign, from the sun perspective, right? But you come out very fiery, right? And when you pull your chart, you'll see you probably have a lot of fire in there. And this is why for me, I feel it's important to understand those aspects, so that we can get out of this one phrase that I fucking hate. I hate saying the shit myself, and I fucking hate hearing other people say it. I don't know. Now, hear me out. I understand it's certain things that you are not aware of in that moment, right? But I'm a firm knower that whatever it is that you want to know is already coded in your DNA. It's already within you. And so you merely just want to call it to you. So rather than say I don't know, is that I'm not aware, or I have not accessed yet, right? Why? Because we don't want to tell the whole body, our entire vessel, our entire suit, our physical and our spiritual aspects of ourselves, that we don't know something. When this plane everything is provided for us. Everything is already here and has been here before your ass came in this incarnation. Therefore, everything you want to know, it's already accessible. You just haven't learned how to access it, right? Hence why I feel like we should get out of that momentum energy of I don't know. Plus, it keeps you in this space of not ever knowing, because you keep telling yourself that I don't know. It's like telling yourself you don't want to know. Because if you wanted to know, you would reword that instead of keep saying to yourself, I don't know. So now, so that we can get out of that, one way is for those of you who are spiritually connected to yourself, is to tune more into your spiritual partner. And we can start by this little small thing right here. Just one little exercise for you guys to kind of see how, kind of observe the energy, and then, maybe journal what your experience is. Be honest with yourself. I can't stress that shit enough. You have to be honest with yourself. And I will tell you, your dark aspects of yourself are going to fight you on this shit. That is a fact. It likes this shit. It's going to fight you. It's used to being in control. We're bringing the energies into harmonic balance within our star system. The only way we can do that is we got to tally ho with both sides, the light and the dark side of ourselves. It's your world. You are in control of your fucking vessel. Nobody else. Okay? And so one of the things I challenge, or not challenge, but one of the things I would give as an exercise, right, is whatever your sun sign is, to either look to Google its polarity sign, right? So just type in what's the polarity sign to Aries, which I can tell you now is Libra, right? Or actually, I'll do you one better. I'll say what they are. You can write them down, right? And then when you start observing from your spiritual aspect, so if you're an Aries sun sign, observe Libra energy. Kind of, observe, see how that energy operates, moves, navigates through things. And then see how and if you recognize that energy within yourself. And then if you do, when you're recognizing you're in that energy, right? Okay, so now I'm going to give you the list of the sign and its polarity. And I know I've given it before in another one, but because we're doing it on this, I'll give it to you now. And then we're going to check out after that. All right, so it's Aries, Libra, Taurus, Scorpio, Gemini, Sagittarius, Cancer, Capricorn, Leo, Aquarius, and Virgo, Pisces. And so those are your 12 signs reduced down to 6 to show your main sign and its polarity sign. Okay? Do a little observing. Leave me some comments and reviews. Let me know what you think. You don't have to tell me like your full observation, but just kind of let me know if you've noticed some of those things that are similar within yourself, and I guess you can give me some examples. Just don't make them real long, y'all, because I'm going to tell you now, if it get too wordy, it has to get straight to the point. If it could be wordy as long as it's detailed and to the point, but don't just make it wordy for the sake of being wordy, But just definitely I would love to know, because again, I'm a student. Always going to be, as long as I'm here in this incarnation. We all are. And so as I learn, I shall share, and then I learn from others as well, because I'm learning, I'm accessing the information that I'm calling to myself, right? I haven't accessed all the pieces. I'm accessing it as I reach and connect with you guys. So, all right, so I appreciate you guys for hanging in and checking out with me this last weekend of March. And this month has really flown the hell by, y'all. This month has flown by, no bullshit. One of my sister's birthdays at the beginning of the month. And I swear I was like, man, didn't we just celebrate her birthday? It's like we just celebrated her birthday, and now we get ready to go into April. Already almost 30 days later, right? So, but anyway, I do want to make sure that you guys make sure to tune in. Get me subscribed up. Check out my Instagram and Facebook page. You can find me at NHV Podcast. Also check out my main page. It's Naturally Holistic Vibes, and you can check me out at Naturally Holistic Vibes across all social media platforms except Snapchat and Twitter. Okay. And next month's series, we're gonna start having guests. Yeah, some guests, y'all. I got some good lineups for you guys. We're gonna start showcasing some really awesome people out here and the awesome work that they're doing. Maybe some of these people are in your area. You can, go fuck with them, see what they're about. Connect, get out here. Let's get out here and start connecting with each other. And especially when we have things that are in alignment, when we have a common ground. It should be easy for us to connect, right? We have a common ground. So yeah, make sure you guys check me out, lock me in, and I will see you guys next week. It's been love, it's been real. Peace.